live. I'm live because I'm bored out of my mind. I look very cute today. Anywhoosie, I'm bored out of my mind, and I was just thinking of the past when, okay, I have autism spectrum disorder, which is high-functioning autism. And the treatment for that, if someone has autism, high-functioning autism spectrum disorder without other neurological disorders, then generally speaking, the treatment options when it comes to medication are Ritalin and Adderall. Mental Health refused to prescribe me Adderall. They said that it was a addictive substance and they didn't prescribe addictive substances. And I was like, okay, don't your psychiatric medications, your psychotropic medications, when you stop taking said medications, you could possibly have seizures and some sort of physical withdrawal symptoms? I'm guessing that's because in some way, shape, or form, they're addictive, right? For the idiots who don't take Adderall or don't need Adderall, it doesn't get you high like drugs do, okay? Everyone equates it to meth. It's like meth in a pill. No, the fuck it isn't. It does not get you high. It does not get you high. Meth gets you high. Like 2 or 3 puffs of methamphetamines versus 1 Adderall pill. Okay, yeah. Most people, if they're smoking meth, trust me, they're not smoking 2 or 3 puffs. And it's like a whole freaking month's prescription of Adderall in one sitting. That's irrelevant. The whole point is mental health, who thinks they fucking know everything, had me on all these bipolar medications and shit. When you actually look at them, they exacerbate everything that I was going through. They exacerbate all the symptoms that I was going through. My depression, exacerbated by certain medications they were giving me. Blood pressure, exacerbated by certain medications they were giving me. Actually being caused by. So here's the thing with a lot of psychotropic medications. Guess what happens? Your body temperature gets lowered. Anyone have a guess as to why that is? I have a hypothesis. Because generally when you have biosensing microspheres in your bloodstream or your body, they tend to absorb heat and energy from your body, which would, lower your body temperature. Right? Because in order to biosense, they have to emit microwave radio frequencies. And generally speaking, they're probably just like microchips. I mean, let's not get too conspiracy theory here, but microchips that run off of your physical energy. Well, I don't know, whatever the hell, however it does that. Anywhoosie. And then the whole thing about, people on YouTube, like getting microchips removed. They don't know how they got there and they're being removed, but then they're disintegrating. Well, that's because they are self-assembling nanoparticles. And as soon as they're removed from your body, of course, they're going to disintegrate. You can call me crazy if you want to. Would anyone like to know how I got out of my meth-induced psychosis? I mean, not that I was ever in a meth-induced psychosis. There were people assuming that I was. As a matter of fact, there were professionals apparently advising my mother that what I was experiencing was a meth-induced psychosis. I'd love to know who these professionals are. I went to school to be an alcohol and other drug counselor. I also went to school to be a mental health rehabilitation technician, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't in a meth-induced psychosis. But that's irrelevant. Anyways, I would still love to meet those professionals who told my mother I was in a meth-induced psychosis. I was actually experiencing symptoms of being non-consensually medically experimented on, I do believe, by mental health Yeah. Interestingly enough, of course, that's going to be the whole purpose. Yeah, never mind. It's automatically assumed that you're crazy and you've got conspiracy theories in your mind, you're paranoid, you've got schizophrenia, all this shit because, God forbid. Well, if you actually do research on the things that I'm talking about, but you look at them in a different field other than medical, you'll find all the information you want because people don't think to look at other applications of the same technology. If you look at other applications of the same technologies, I posted something on my Instagram the other day about they were pretty much describing what was it? Like clinical studies for statistics as far as but it's not clinical, it was just studies like a census, but not a census for whatever else. Like research. They were discussing how microspheres, biosensing technology will be beneficial for research and statistical purposes and gaining information from the general public. I do believe it's already happening without most of our knowledge. But some of us have adverse reactions to the shit, so then we're the ones that are made to look like fucking nuts. That's my guess. I can't say for sure. Or that could just be the schizophrenia I don't have talking. I don't know. That could be what it is. You never know. Oh, it could be a meth-induced psychosis again. Maybe. Probably not, because I don't do meth. Needless to say, treatment for someone with high-functioning autism is generally Ritalin or Adderall. As a matter of fact, when I was in intercoast colleges, I was actually illegally obtaining Adderall. And I had straight A's through the whole class because mental health refused to prescribe it to me. Yeah, I had straight A's through my whole class. Except for the very last module, I had a C or a D. I think it was a C, but that was because I had to go to Ohio because my son was in the custody of Child Protective Services. And I just find that interesting. I was able to function. I was able to focus. I was able to do extremely well and graduate the very first and only, other than MHRT, program that I started and finished with the help of illegally obtained Adderall. I had a box full of little blue pills and it disappeared. I don't know who took it from me. But that was mine. Thank you. It was a little wet white box with Adderall pills in it. Anyway. That being said, I would prefer to do it without any medication. I think if I eat the right things, I could be fine. But I just can't seem to wrap my head around being present enough to like get a decent meal plan going. One that's not going to assist me in being attention deficit or hyperactive. It's difficult sometimes. It's like, I don't know. Anyways, oh yeah, the question was, is anyone wondering how I got out of the meth-induced psychosis I was in California? Here's how. I wasn't in a meth-induced psychosis in California. Makes it much easier to get out of one. If you're not in it to begin with, hell yeah. That's how I did it. I wasn't in one to begin with. Excuse me, I was eating popcorn. Yeah, it was actually CPTSD. I was being narcissistically abused by the court system and controlled and abused by Jeffrey Miller. Harassed and failed to have been protected. Me and my child by the police. Oh yeah. They aided and abetted a criminal in stalking and harassing me. They would accompany him to my house when I had my child and refused to return her legally. I had the right. They never legally had the right to give her to him to begin with, and they still refused to acknowledge their own state law. I don't know how any of them became commissioners. Like Klatchko, I apologize. I don't know Miss Klatchko. She's off. I mean, she looks fairly young. Never heard anything to do with my case to begin with, but except for the one time she told me, nobody's rights are being violated. If you just comply with the court orders, you'll regain your rights as a mother. What? First of all, woman, this is not dependency court, first of all. Second of all, I'm not required to follow any court orders that violate my rights and my child's rights. And just because you say no one's rights are being violated does not mean that they aren't. Because as per your state statutes, probably about, I think it was 23 of them or more, you're violating our rights. You think you can just sit in here in court and say, oh, no one's rights are being violated, and then it's going to be okay? No. 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 No, no, no. See, they're lucky that the bedbug infested fucking Vagabond Inn has all of my paperwork, because if they didn't, I would take all of that right down to the nearest attorney's office and file a civil suit. Because everything that I put in about 15 fucking petitions stating you're violating this state statute, 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 and this constitutional right, this human right, this, all of these fundamental rights. You're not allowed to give those to a sexual predator who's not even related to either one of us. You're just handing him his prey, like, here, have her daughter. You can't keep and control her, so keep her kid. She might get molested or sexually assaulted. But then again, she might not. He sexually assaulted me, sexually harassed me, sexually battered me in my own home, and then the police said, oh, yeah. He physically abused my child and sexually harassed my child. He used to slap her on the ass just like he slapped me on the ass, and she would repeatedly tell him no. I told him twice, I said, stop fucking hitting my daughter on the ass. Seriously, stop it. Oh, man, no, we're just playing. I don't fucking care. Stop. And he would not listen. He would still do it. And these stupid police officers, there's been no crime committed here. He stole her phone for disciplinary reasons. We know you're still purchasing the phone, but we don't care. It's a $350 phone he gets to rob you for again. Not to mention all the other times he robbed your ass. That's what you get for being a sucker and letting India Ho Trolleys protect your ass. Right? Oh yeah, I'm still paying $15 a month on that phone. $15 a month until the $350 is paid. I hope you're enjoying that iPhone 6, Ebony, whoever you are. Yeah, the one I got my daughter for Christmas. I still pay on it every month. Can't even report it stolen. That sucks. Oh well, shit happens. I think I'm going to go visit them for Christmas or something, and I'm going to grab them all by the hair and throw them through a door. Just toss them through an open door. Just grab them by the head and toss them through an open door. Or push them through an open door. And see what happens. I dare someone to call the police. I do. Like, seriously. Might just walk up and slap one of them in the face. Slap one of them on the ass. Or spank one of them. That's what I might do. Merry Christmas. I dare you to call the police. I just disciplined you for doing that to my kid. You needed to be disciplined. How else do you suppose I should discipline you? Oh, you're not my kid, you say? Well, she's not yours either! I have way too much time on my hands today. Way too much energy because I have ADHD and nothing to do. I could be on Chatterbait, making some money. I just don't like talking dirty to those guys because they're just, I don't know. I'm just not good at talking dirty to anyone, except for myself. I'm great at talking dirty to myself. Hey, baby. Yeah. Hey, Izzy. I guess I really seriously need friends. So I'm kind of loving my dreadlocks, but I'm kind of wanting a curly mohawk instead, like 8 to 12 inches maybe. I asked someone to help me buy some hair, but I don't know if they're going to help me or not. And I don't like to ask because I hate asking for things because my mom makes me feel like shit for asking. His dad used to make me feel like shit for asking. Everyone's always made me feel like shit for asking for anything, except for Ray Gonzalez. He's like the only person who ever was like nice enough to loan. Yeah, like every month I would borrow money from his ass, and he would let me borrow it, and I always paid it back. That's who I should have asked for help with. No, I'm not gonna call him. Anyways, I just want a new hairstyle. I'm kind of tired of this dread thing. Even though they look cute, I kind of want like a curly mohawk, just curlies. Maybe this long, like 8 to 12 inches. I don't know. I just can't afford hair yet. And on the 1st, all my money's going to rent and electricity and my phone bill that's been past due all month. And the cable bill is $185 this month because I have internet. I just turned the cable on, plus $20 for my daughter going over. I don't know how the fuck she used 1,025 gigabytes. A terabyte. She used a terabyte of data in 1 month. I don't know how. I don't fucking know how. And they charged me $20 extra. So I still owe that $20. Plus I got to pay the cable bill, which is like $99. But it's prorated because I started the internet. I started the cable halfway through the month. So I have to pay for this half of this month, and then for next month I have to pay. So it's like $185 on the 1st. Well, it's not due till the 11th, but still. Fudge. What am I seeing on YouTube talking about my bills? I don't fucking know. I still got to pay the $104 for my phone and the phone that Jeff gets to keep, Jeff and Ebony, whoever Ebony is. I hope you guys are enjoying my daughter's Christmas present. You're a bunch of disgusting fucking thieves. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. Her Christmas present. And I still have to pay $15 on it every fucking month. I can't report it stolen. Oh, no, he took it for disciplinary reasons. Oh, really? Really? You want to see how many things I'm about to take from him for disciplinary reasons? Oh, yeah, disciplinary action. Yep. Mm-hmm. He has never put a red cent down on that phone. None. It was connected to my internet bill and my Spectrum mobile bill, or my Spectrum internet in California while I was living in that trailer. It was connected to my Spectrum internet account. And I paid on it faithfully every month. I paid her bill faithfully every month. And then he refuses to return her phone? Who the fuck do you guys think you are? And Aunt Ree, she was always very nice to me. And I was like fooled into believing that she was one of the few people that actually accepted that I was nothing Jeff said I was and that I'm a decent human being because she treated me like a decent human being. But it turns out she's just like the rest of them. That's unfortunate because she's the one that sat there and said, oh, we'll bring it tomorrow. When they called me to come pick up my daughter. You want your daughter back? What the fuck? I knew something was fishy too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't believe there's a statute of limitation when it comes to abusing people that are disabled, but not to the point where they can't work, and then you actually disable them by your abuse and your control. And then you use the judicial system, very expensive services that are never granted to someone of your status. So I did contact the Riverside County district attorney. First on Instagram, I just sent them an email because they told me to. I was commenting on the fact that I don't want to say gentleman, he's obviously not a gentleman, but that man that was molesting that 10-year-old for how many years? Are you fucking kidding me? Ugh. Why isn't Jeffrey Martin Miller in prison? If you guys saw his record. And then for him to go to court and say, Your Honor, she has a warrant in Banning. I don't have a fucking warrant in Banning. And then sure enough, I look it up and I do. What do you have to do with that warrant, Jeff? Because I've never even been to the city of Banning. I've never been to Banning. And then all of a sudden, he comes to court. You're concerned about a warrant, Mr. Sexual Predator? Mr. Registered Narcotics Offender? Mr. Repeat Violent Offender? Assault with a deadly weapon? Robbery? rape by force, oral copulation with minors, unlawful sex with minors, sexual assault of a minor, and you're concerned about a warrant that's not even mine for intimidating a business operation? How the fuck does one intimidate a business operation? I would love to know. And how did he know about it, but I didn't? He was obviously stalking me. Hello? Still, with the assistance of Riverside County and Larson Injustice Center. Oh, you can't keep your stalking victims at home? Well, let us help you. We'll nail that bitch down so she can't go anywhere. Just by handing you her daughter. There you have it. Thank you, Riverside County, for destroying my life. Oh, not to mention, I had 3 kids at home that were waiting for their mother to come back. And she never did. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're not really speaking to me right now because they're misled about the whole situation. I'm assuming that's why. My mother, too. Yeah. So they essentially destroyed a whole family. Mainly because my position was very misunderstood and it was very difficult for me to convey the message of dire need of assistance. I think I kind of spelled it out several times, but nobody really caught the drift. But that's okay. I don't hold that against anyone. What I do hold against people is the judicial system and the police were actually helping him control and abuse me and my child and deprive my other children of their mother. My kids are grown now. I finally came home and my kids are grown. One of them is dead. He killed himself. I can't imagine that it had anything to do with the fact that he was supposed to come live with me while I was in California, but I couldn't because of my circumstances. And then, to make matters even worse, when I finally got into a position where I could have him with me, I was being terrorized by someone in India. And there's no doubt in my mind that as soon as I got close enough to be very close to my child and there to be, a threat, that's when I started to be terrorized. And that's when her real father, was nowhere nearby. So he wasn't there to aid me in my sanity. Only leaving me more vulnerable to, assholes like Jeff Miller and whoever the hell he had terrorizing the shit out of me. Needless to say, yeah, in the midst of all that, my son commits suicide. So you never know. That could have had to do with mental health, thinking that my assessment and me saying that my stepfather spanked me with a belt was a perfectly good reason to send CPS to my parents' house for a welfare check of my children that were placed there by CPS. But when I mentioned that my child was living with a convicted sex offender against minors, and she was only 14 and right down the street, oh, well, you can file a report with CPS for that. Oh. Okay. God, if people only knew. If people only knew. And I really have to sit here and be snide and smart-ass-ish about all of it because it's so fucking frustrating. So insulting. I'm so insulted that the judicial system and Indio trolleys actually think this is acceptable. Oh, and they're looking for us now. They're looking for me and my child because Jeffrey Martin Miller filed a missing persons report for my child and also for more child abduction services. My child's not missing. She's right here with me where she belongs. She's not missing, sir. I dare you to receive services one more fucking. I dare someone to be stupid. No, I don't dare someone to be stupid enough because my daughter and I will have to go through the trauma again. But yeah, I know you guys aren't going to be that fucking stupid again, are you? Seriously. I hope Riverside County is not going to be that fucking stupid to grant him child abduction services a third time. They even signed a warrant that said they had permission to forcefully enter private or public property to remove my child from me when I was protecting her from abuse. And as per state statute, they never had any right to place her where she was, or deprive me of my rights, or to force me to comply. If you just comply with court orders, you will regain your rights. And what? I never lost my rights. Never. I never lost my rights. Crazy motherfuckers. Boy, I tell you what. Anywho's, I don't want to sit here and just blabble about nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and go feed my face. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day. Like, share, comment, whatever. Notify Riverside County. Hey, that bitch Amber and her daughter Linnea, they're in Sierra Vista. Not hiding from anyone. Make this viral. Riverside County, please don't be stupid. Please don't be stupid. I don't know what God is protecting your asses from me finding an attorney. But maybe I should have been worshiping that God. Like, share, subscribe. Comment down below. Hit the little dingy bell if you want to listen to me blab on about nothing whenever I come on to do so.